Hey girls and guys and girls, good morning to everybody from my side of the pond. So this word is based off of a dream that I had a few nights ago, and as you can see from the title, it says resist the temptation, and I had to sit on it for a little while because I know some things he is expressing to me. There could be others who are in a similar position, and they need this word also. So I believe it's time, because he's given me a few, and it's coming to a point now where they're starting to get more and more cryptic, and the more cryptic they get, the more work I gotta do. Sorry. But sometimes, like, it's so cryptic, you have to be like, oh my gosh, like, you're everywhere, you're searching everything, like, Lord, what do you mean by this? And then throughout the day he'll like break little pieces off of the revelation and stuff like that, and it's like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, that's what you're saying, look. And then like you'll get a bit of a giggle if he wants to give you a bit of a giggle, and he'll give you the explanation, etc, etc. Okay, like, he works the way he wants to work, and I can't be can't be upset about that. But sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh, this is just so much work, like, why can't it just be a little bit easier, right? But I give thanks anyway. To be able to hear from him is a blessing in itself. So let's get into the dream. Okay, I'm going to take you to my notes, which I've had to open up a new fresh notes, because on the notepad you only get a certain amount of characters, as it likes to call it, that you can write into the notepad. So it's like, oh darn it, I've reached the maximum. Okay, I believe this is the one. So this was a day I had 3-in-1 dreams, or was it 2-in-1 dream? Like, yeah, two dreams, two parts of the dream. Okay, so I did the one about the squirrel, okay, when he explained that you are the squirrel with the knot, okay. And then after that, that was on the 18th, 19th, and it was roughly about 18, 20, 19, 20, something like that. So I did that one where I was talking about my workmate. So no, it was 3-in-1 actually. Yeah, so it's like 3 separate scenes. Okay, sorry guys, like, literally had to look at the writing that I had put down here. So this is the third part, okay. I walked into a room and made Michael and one mixed woman talk. At the time, I remember trying to fix the TV, trying to get the remote to turn TV up, turn it on, etc. And I couldn't do it. And then I sat down in between the two of them, and Michael began to speak, and I couldn't hear what he was saying, right? So I didn't get to put that part in here. As I said, I woke up, wrote down what I could, but I remembered that part of it, okay? So then I left out into some house, okay? And then I realized that this house that I left out into was actually my mom's house. But it was really dark in there. And then one boy followed me, a dark-skinned, tallish guy, right? And he asked me if he could dry hump me. We went outside and some kids were there by the fence, okay? So I remember them being by the fence. So by the house, there's an alley, okay, to get to the back garden, and he brought me into there, right? No resistance, nothing. He just held onto my hands, he brought me into there. And then these kids was outside the gate. He told them to wait, and I said to him that this cannot happen. He left and I began exercising whilst the kids asked where he'd gone. One knew me and my daughter and said he would go back with me. Let's separate that. Look at this madness. Can I separate it? No, it told me too many characters. All right. So he said he was going back with me. I left from exercising, and one mixed race guy with a hat and cornrows said he wanted to properly introduce me to this guy that just literally tried to dry hump me, and I walked out of his arms because he put his arms around my shoulder, tried to talk to me, to speak to this guy. They carried on speaking as I walked away, and as I walked away I turned around and says to him, I have no interest in anything that he has to say or has to offer, okay? And then I woke up. Okay, so in the beginning of this dream, I'll give a little background of how I feel in this moment. So Michael is somebody who is close to a family member of mine's, right? And we've had our difficulties in the past, right? So I often thought like he was a confused guy, like, you know, just one of those things. Like, we didn't have a great relationship, so I didn't look up the name so much to speak, because I know that Michael is something like one who carries God, right? And that was not relative for this dream this time. Okay, I know most of the time names hold a lot of significance, but in this time it was my initial thoughts of him. Not anymore, because like I've seen a different side to him, and I don't judge him based off of what happened in the past. Okay, but back then I believed he was confused, and that's what he had me remember. Okay, like a confused nature, just gets a point across, but does it in a way that doesn't always rub people up the right way. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Maybe I should sit up a bit. Oh, right. So that was what I had in my mind, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna explain to you how I have in the past seen mixed race people. Okay, I in the past, and I forgive me, okay, but I'm being totally truthful here. God has forgiven me for any judgments I've passed on any of my brothers and sisters, regardless of what color they were. I told you, because I experienced so much racism, I myself became racist towards every nation. I didn't care, right? I was like, every person to me is racist, okay? That was my mind frame. And nobody could shift me from that, okay? Even my own black people, I believe everybody was racist in their own ways, okay? And when it came to mixed race people, I saw them as stuck up, arrogant, thought too much of themselves. Like they just carried that whole vibe to me, right? And he had me look at that. And he gave me the revelation here that it was because we stepped into this room, okay, this dark room with the television. I, from a very young age, met someone who was selling poetry on the road once, and I bought one of his booklets, and he had a poem in there that was talking about tell live vision, okay, and that stuck with me for my whole entire life. I was like, oh my gosh, tell live vision, right? So I was there trying to work this TV, but there was no remote, and it just wouldn't work. So I went and sat down, and then when I sat down, I couldn't hear what Michael was saying. Remember I said, like, I seen him as like confused and, you know, didn't get a point across, but there was part truth, but like the confusion overshadowed a lot of stuff basically, and I couldn't hear him. And then I ended up walking out of the room. Like, I just got so annoyed, like even trying to pay attention to these two, I just walked out, okay. And what he was explaining to me in this part of the dream was, it's time to walk away from the confusion. He is not a God of confusion, okay? It's time to walk away from confusion. Stop listening to things that are confusing you, right? The things that are not making sense, that are not adding up, okay? And come away from arrogance, okay, and being stuck up and things like that. There's things on the inside of you that need to be cleansed. That was a dark room, okay. You come out of a dark room and then you go into the light, right? But in this case, I went into a house that was dark. So it's not to say as soon as you begin this journey, right, that when you start being cleansed and stop thinking in certain ways, having those mindsets, etc., that it means that the next step is going to be straight away you're going to walk into greatness or like the light straight away. There's still more work that needs to be done, right? So that's what that part symbolized to me. And the lies that you've been telling yourself, like you've been wanting to have this vision of these lies, right? Because I went over to the television and was trying to make it work. So there's lies that you've been telling yourself, right, that you've been trying to make work at this time, that you need to come away from. You need to realize that these things are not helping you, right? There are things that you've been taught, okay, that you've been seeing, that you've believed this whole entire time, and he's saying it's time for you not to pay attention to these things anymore. Don't listen to these things anymore, because they have not elevated you. They have not helped you. They've kept you stuck, okay? This room was plain. All that was there was like a sofa and a bed and us three in the room and the TV. That was it, okay? There was nothing there of substance. There was nothing there that was a help in any way. The only way to help was to come out of there, okay? Because after a while it just got so annoying to be sat in front of someone who's speaking and you cannot hear one word that's coming out of their mouth, okay? So in the end, I walked out of there, as I said, in that part, and then I walked into a house. At the time, I was like, "Is this my mum's house?" Because it looked so different. It like looked huge, okay, and I was like, and then I realized exactly where I was, okay. So my mum's house, obviously, to me, is like a foundation, okay, because it's familiar to me. It's what I've known, okay. It's where I had lived in the past, etc. Okay. So it's like a foundation, and I can say that there is plenty of darkness in my family. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that I'm sure in a lot of families there's a lot of things that happen, and separation between people, and just the dark side of loving your family members, right? So I've walked through the house, and I've come out, and this tall guy's followed me, right? If anybody knows me, I love a tall man, okay? Like, I am not tall, right? But the enemy knows what I like too, okay? God knows what I like, and the enemy knows what I like, but I love a tall man, okay? And I'm sure there are plenty of other women who are out there who like tall men, but if I wasn't to get a tall man, would it bother me? No, but it's just a kind of like a preference, but at the same time it's just something that you like in someone, okay? Like I like in a man, okay? So this man has followed me and said he would like to dry hump me, okay? We're going to go and look into dry humping. If people don't know what that is, we should know what that is anyway, okay? Sorry guys, that's me getting my picture together to make my all right, hold on. Manhattan celebrities, no, right, where are we at? What was I putting in here now? Oh, I've lost my train of thought. Dry humping, that's it. Let's see what it is, even though we know what it is. Not images of that, no. Non-penetrative sex. Couldn't even get the word out. Non-penetrative sex, okay, or outer course, is sexual activity that usually does not include sexual penetration. It generally excludes the penetrative aspect of vaginal, anal, or oral sexual activity, but includes various forms of sexual and non-sexual activity, such as frottage, mutual masturbation, kissing, or cuddling, right? So at this time, this man came over and said to me, "Can he dry hump me?" And took my hand and carried me into the alleyway and closed the gate, and there was 3 kids out there, okay? So this part of the dream, right, clearly is about a sexual nature and someone who is coming in. I just explained to you that I have a preference, okay? Like, I like tall men, and the enemy knows that I like tall men. So in this part, he had to explain to me that there is someone that is going to come in, okay? I've heard plenty of times from many people that the counterfeit comes before the real, okay? Like, there is someone who is coming in that has one thing in mind, okay? In this, obviously, it wasn't fully him asking for sex, it was him asking for dry humping, but as you see, it's still a sexual act. God still frowns on such things. So if there's anyone who is out there who thinks that dry humping is nothing and it's not going to affect in any kind of way because there's no actual penetration, you're lying to yourself, okay? That's one thing he's had me turn around and have to say. I don't know who that's for, but you are lying to yourself, okay? Any kind of sexual behavior, okay, that indicates that that's something that you wish to do with another person, that's not what you're supposed to be doing, okay? It's still frowned upon, it's still sinful, and you need to repent for that, okay? Personally, I've not been doing anything, so I know that for me it's not that time, but it was an indication that there is someone who is wishing to come in, okay? The way that he grabbed me by the hand, if he had grabbed me by the hand like that in the past, right, without God doing the work that he's done inside of me and outside of me, I would have probably like said, "Take your hands off me," slapped his hand away, carried on the most ways, okay? But this is where he's made me realize just how much he's made me submissive, okay, for when my husband comes around. And because this person, right, has realized just how much you've changed. They think that they can come in and do whatever it is that they please, like they can get their way. Okay, I need you to stand firm in this, because even though he was able to grab my hand and take me into the alleyway meaning he wants to hide you. Okay, he wishes to hide you. He wants you, but he wishes to hide you, and all he wants from you is sex. Okay, right, catch that. Okay, you've heard the dream part, and now it's all coming together, so hopefully I won't have to explain that part again. All right, but they've seen the work that you've been doing. They've seen how submissive you've become, how kind you've become, how serene, just your whole appearance, your whole aura, so to speak, right? Even though I don't like to go into that new age stuff, how they see all this. Okay, they see the light on you and they wish to partake in it, right? But it's merely a sexual attraction, so I need for you to be strong in this and resist it. Okay, no matter how small the thing may seem, no matter how small it may sound, like it's a big deal. Okay, it's frowned upon, so please don't put yourself in a position where you have to be repenting for something that you could have avoided. Okay, just because you thought that, oh, it won't hurt, like it's not even that big of a deal. It really is. Okay, stay on the right path. So after this, I turned to him and I says, we ain't doing this. Okay, I told him like straight point blank, and then he walked off. Okay, so that was one good thing. Once you turn around and you say this to the person, they should leave. Okay, it should be no more. You shouldn't have to have this argument or a fight with them about it, right? But in this is the part where it was like, Lord, what are you saying here? Because as he left, I began exercising. Okay, personally, that's something he's spoken to me about many times, and I am still like struggling a little bit, like to find the is it the determination to do it, because motivation, some days I have it, but I have to have discipline and determination and the motivation all together, right? And sometimes I just don't have it there, because I have to be doing so much at home too, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of people have the same kind of situation going on. You got work, you got homework to do, like, you know, you could be in college, school, whatever it may be, and you feel like you don't have the time to go and exercise or whatever the case is. Okay, and instantly I began exercising. So he says, there's things I've told you that you need to do. Okay, don't worry about this person or these people who are going to try and come in. Okay, because they are not for you, they are not what I have for you. But here is what I'm telling you to do at this time. Okay, this is what I need you to do. Stay focused. Okay, if you have to stay not so much hidden, but just keep yourself to yourself, right? Because I was still in that alley and I didn't open the door to the children. With the children and the fact that they had asked where he had gone, the two other children, I'm not sure why they had asked why he had gone. But the other one turned around and says he was coming he knew me and my daughter, and he said he is coming with me because I have to bring him back to his dad. Now this to me indicates that the person that is for you has children, okay, or a child, right? And it's up to you to get yourself to the place where you need to be in order for you to be able to get to them, okay, to deal with his child and him. Okay, I hope this makes sense, so that you can be the family that you're supposed to be. But if you get sidetracked, you won't be able to get, not even that you won't be able to, it's a case that it will take longer, okay, for you to get in the right place that you need to be able to take care of your family, okay, your new family that you are due to have. Okay, and the reason why I say this is because I've been seeing a lot of things that have been indicating to the man, woman, whoever it is that is for you and for me, has children, okay, or a child, or will have children or a child, because it could mean that you're not ready for each other right now, and they're with that person that they're with and they have children with them. And you know, it is what it is. Like, not everybody is not going to have children, okay? A majority of people have kids or a child, all right? and that's going to be your new family, all right? And you're going to have all the things that are needed to take care of them and yourself, okay? And become the family that God wishes for you to be, okay? In love, and no messing around, and no people getting in the middle, no cheating, no none of that, okay? So then after that, I got up and then went round the back garden to go back into the house. And on my way there, a light-skinned guy comes, slams his hand around my shoulders, saying, oh, he wants to introduce me to this guy properly, etc. I walk off from his grip and say, I have no interest in anything that he has, okay? Now that should speak for itself, okay? That should speak for itself. As I said, from the room with the light-skinned lady and Michael, right? The arrogance. There's going to be an arrogance like you should want this person, okay? Because I've set you up with this person, or, you know, they're the best that you can get, or they have your preferences, so what's your problem kind of thing. No, okay? If it's not from God, you don't want it, okay? They can keep it, because you know where it leads to, because that's all they want. It's just one thing, okay? So I believe that I have accomplished what I was set out to do, because my nose is itching. So I have done the task. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. And I just hope that you will take heed. And if anybody comes in with any kind of weird requests, or comes in saying like, you know, they like you in that way, and you know that they're not your person, please just use all the power that God has invested in you and resist, okay? Because it's not to say that they're not handsome or pretty, beautiful woman, whatever, or man, yeah? It's not to say that they're not these things, but they're not yours, okay? And there's only one thing in mind that they have, okay? And that's not for you right now, okay? Ever, even, okay? We're looking for our person, or the person is looking for us as the women. We don't go looking, okay? We're not looking for anything less than what God has for us, okay? That's the be all and end all. So please don't fall for the tricks of the enemy, okay? Because someone may be coming in right now speaking all this good stuff, okay? Like things that you know, may desire right now, okay? And we're going to keep it 100. Like, I don't know who's out there who doesn't enjoy sex, okay? Like, I'm sorry, I'm no virgin, but I'm now a renewed virgin in Jesus, okay? Through Jesus Christ, sorry, and my Heavenly Father God. So, and I have a child, so that just tells you what it is, okay? I don't know anybody who's done the deed who doesn't enjoy the deed, okay? And I know that I had issues in that area, okay? Like, I was an addict, okay? So, and I can say that now because I've been freed, okay? So the enemy knows what you desire, okay? The things that you want, or you feel like you could do with or need, right? I can't say that I need that, because he's helped me with that, and he's kept my mind off of it and my body away from it, right? So when I found him, he helped me with that, okay? That's one beautiful thing about our Heavenly Father God. You have something that you are battling with, he can take all of that and throw it in the bin, okay? He will take all of that addiction and throw it in the bin, okay? But that doesn't mean that the enemy won't try to tempt you with these things, okay? So it's time for you to be just look out for what the enemy is trying to place in your way, okay? You don't need this. This person's going to try it and hide you, okay? They don't want you like that. You want somebody who's going to be happy to hold your hand and walk with you and smile with you and tell people that you're their person, okay? They love you so much, like they can't believe that they love you this much. It's still surreal to them, okay? You don't need anyone who's going to try and hide you. No one, okay? You are chosen, and you are chosen by your person that God has for you. So you remember that, okay? God chose you, and you are chosen by the person who has chosen you, right? My nose is really itching me now, so I gotta go. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. Oh, jeez. Lord, I'm so glad I'm not on the camera. That would have just looked so weird. But anyway, Goofy's gonna start coming out of me. So I hope that this word like helps somebody out there who's probably suffering with wanting to take the dive with someone that looks like they tick every single box. But honey, don't do it. Okay, it's not worth it. Right? So I'm out of here. Have a great morning, evening, night, whatever it may be, wherever you are. Okay, ciao Bella.